Good morning and welcome to Jen's Awesome Show. I'm here with Tarz from Ape Swap. He's here with the audio. So you'll be able to hear him but not see him. And we're going to learn some stuff today. Let's start with a good morning. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And tell us a little bit about Ape Swap. What is Ape Swap?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Super stoked to be
Absolutely.
here. So, Ape Swap it's a lot of things. So it's kind of hard to sum up in a short sentence, but at the end of the day, we consider ourselves a DeFi hub. And so what that means is that we are um, a multitude of different services kind of all wrapped up into one platform. At the beginning, we started as primarily a DEX and automated market maker, as well as, we had yield farms and pools and those things as well. And at this point, we really have adapted and evolved to be a much more complete and total package. So yeah, there's been quite a lot of things that have changed in the past 18 months since we got started, and it's been fun to see the evolution of it.
Definitely. So, in case my mom ever watches the show here, if I head over to Ape Swap, what can I do?
Absolutely. So at ApeSwap, you're going to be able to tap into a number of different services. So, first and foremost, we do have an exchange on our DEX or on our platform. And so, for those that are unfamiliar with DEXs, essentially what a DEX does is it offers a decentralized and totally anonymous way to swap assets. So at ApeSwap, we have a multitude of assets. In fact, at this point in time, due to some recent updates that we've had, we actually do have access to more assets than any other DEX on the network. And that is because we have access to a proprietary technology that we've invented called the ApeSwap Smart Router. I don't need to get super into the technical details of how it works because it's a little bit, nerdy, if you will, a little bit boring. But essentially, what it allows the users to do, and what's important to know, is that it allows users to trade literally every single token that's available on the Binance Smart Chain or Polygon or Ethereum, all on our DEX. We're able to do this through a clever blending of arbitrage as well as DEX aggregation technology. That's as deep into the nerdy side of it as I'll get. But yeah, so it's pretty fascinating. At this point, what we've done is essentially created an exchange platform in which there's no real reason that a user would have to use another DEX because they can trade all of their tokens right at home at ApeSwap. So that's kind of the first and foremost. That's our bread and butter service, offering a seamless trading experience for our users. Beyond that, we do also offer a number of different ways that users can get involved with the various projects that we're working with. So, we have a couple of more traditional ways of getting involved, such as staking pools as well as yield farms. So, for those of you that may be a little bit unfamiliar with how a staking pool works, essentially at ApeSwap, we have two different native tokens. We have the banana token, and then we have our governance token, the GNANA or golden banana token. And what you can do with these is stake them into exclusive pools in which our partners have put up a certain amount of their tokens in order for our users to stake and receive them as rewards. So for getting involved with our ecosystem, you get access to a ton of top tier tokens through this sort of a system. What you can do with those tokens typically is actually pair them with a network token, typically BNB or maybe BUSD if the project prefers stable coins. And then you'll be able to stake those into a farm and actually earn additional rewards. Now, the rewards that you earn in a farm are going to be our native token, banana. So as you can see, what we've done is we've sort of closed the loop there, where users, they take banana, they stake it, they earn a partner token. Then they take the partner token, they pair it into an LP token, then they stake that, they earn more banana, and then they can just repeat the cycle. So it offers a really, really great and friendly user experience in which users can just keep doubling down and increasing the amount that they are farming and yielding over time. This is fairly standard stuff. You can see this in a multitude of dexes, but what we do at Ape Swap that is different than others is we have a primary focus on sustainability. So what we do is we partner with a project called Gauntlet. Gauntlet is a project that works primarily with some of the giants on Ethereum, such as Compound or Aave, Maker, even SushiSwap. And what they have a primary focus on is capital efficiency. Again, we don't need to get too much into the nerdy details of what that means, but essentially, what it allows us to do is to monitor the emissions that we give out on the DEX, both in the pools and the farms, and make sure that they have the most minimal price impacts possible, while at the same time promoting user exposure, as well as a deep enough liquidity pool to provide for a trading environment for the users as well. So it's a little bit intense, the math that goes into it, but it it offers a much stronger price floor for the partners that we work with, as well as a better liquidity environment for the users to trade in. I know I'm rambling a little bit, so I'll stop there and see if there's any questions that have come up, or if there's anything you wanted me to focus on a little bit differently.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm curious about something. You mentioned that I can trade on the exchange with tokens from all three of the chains. So that was BNB, Polygon, and Ethereum. So I'm still new. So my experience in the past was that if I wanted to trade something on Binance Smart Chain, I had to bridge it over from one of the other chains and then trade it. Is that still the case, or can I sign in with my ETH wallet and trade something and have it sit in my Binance Smart Chain wallet after?
Great question. So at the moment, bridging is still necessary for the
Okay.
cross-chain activity. However, that is something that our devs are looking at. There's a whole conversation right now around what some people are calling omni swaps, or like omni-chain activity, meaning things that you can do sort of through the networks, through the chains. And because we do operate on multiple, we are looking at that heavily, because I think it'd be pretty fascinating, to be able to trade my, let's say, BUSD stablecoin on Binance Smart Chain into Ethereum on mainnet. It would be pretty fascinating. So definitely something we're looking at pretty heavily. But yeah, at the moment, the bridge is still required.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious because I have some stuff in various places that I would have fun trading, but I don't necessarily have enough to make a bridge worthwhile.
Fair. That's fair. Yeah, and that's kind of the one of the issues behind bridging at the moment, and that's why I'm really excited to see what some of these protocols that are focused on these omni swaps or omni chain swaps. I'm really excited to see what they're able to do, because it does seem like some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how that evolves. I'm excited about that because I do like trading things, but I like to do it from more of a playing perspective, play and learn a little bit with a little bit, as opposed to do it with a lot and make some money, because I'm not quite there yet, if I'm being absolutely honest.
Totally
So
fair. Totally fair.
yeah. Um, Go ahead.
Actually, what that reminds me of, and this could be something that would be very interesting, especially if you do have some users that they themselves would consider themselves maybe a little bit newer to a DEX, or a little bit newer to DeFi in general. What we
Mhm.
actually just created is a new landing page for those types of users in particular. So,
Ooh,
like you mentioned earlier, I could share my screen. So maybe I'll do that here now.
that'd be
Um,
great.
Here's there. Let's see here. What's it going to show? Oh, okay. I can do a specific window. Perfect.
Yes.
Here we go. Alrighty. Let me know when you can see this.
There we go. Got it.
Perfect. So this is our new landing page specifically for newer users of DeFi. So, after I show this, we can go into our regular homepage, but you'll see that it's a little bit less user-friendly as far as people that might not quite have as much experience in the realm. So this is the new one. And and you can see it breaks down things pretty in a pretty straightforward manner and touches on some of the biggest highlights, such as our total value locked at just under 100 million, our total trade volume at over 17 billion, the market cap. This would be of our tokens. This is Banana, and then our total number of partners that we're actively working with, which is currently sitting at 233. So then if you scroll
Awesome.
down a little bit, what you'll see is some just sort of basic instructions on what you're able to actually do with the platform. So, for example, swap, stake, lend, and borrow over 200 cryptocurrencies. And then this is everything from stable coins to altcoins all in one place. And, we wrote 200 because it's an easy number for people to sort of digest. But in reality,
Yes.
there are tens of thousands of swap options available. Just got to know
Yeah.
what you're looking for.
Okay.
So yeah, we have the exchange here. This is exactly where you would go to actually make the swaps itself. Well, I can show that page in just a minute. But what's also cool is we're one of the only dexes that is working directly with MoonPay. MoonPay is one of the premier fiat on-ramp services. And
Yeah.
so what we've created is a way for users to actually purchase crypto directly with a credit card on Ape Swap. And they can do it in such a way where there is a minimal KYC that's involved, but because we, as a service, we are a DEX, and we are, as a team, we operate in an anonymous fashion. We're totally okay with our users operating in that fashion as well. And so the way that the KYC works for our MoonPay fiat on ramp is the KYC is done completely with MoonPay and is not shared with the Ape Swap team whatsoever.
Nice.
So yeah, the user privacy still is absolutely at the forefront of our minds, but we've made it easy for them to get involved, and so you're able to purchase things like BNB or different stable coins using a number of different fiat currencies, whether it's the US dollar, Canadian dollars, the euro, the pound, so on and so forth. I think there's over 100 different currencies that you can use. So yeah, super excited to have that. Makes it super easy for people to get involved. And then, of course, like I mentioned earlier, what you can do then is stake in the various pools and farms in order to earn additional yield there. We also are the only DEX that has our own in-house lending network. So we're partnered very closely with Ola Finance. Ola, they help build custom lending markets. And so one of our lead devs and co-founders, his name is Ape-tastic. He is obsessed with the security and the just making sure that the lending network is as sound as possible. And so it took us quite a while to roll out, but we are very, very confident that we have the most secure lending network on BNB chain. We've never had anything close to an exploit in any of our products. And so, despite the slow rollout, it's at this point super effective. And at its all-time high, we had well over $100 million of TVL in the lending network alone. So yeah, we're super, super stoked about this because, it just gives users a whole bunch of different ways to get involved. Maybe you don't want to actually start trading, but hey, you can stake your BNB into the lending network, allow others to borrow that, and then you earn interest that way. So it's a super easy way to get involved, super easy way to earn interest, and it's very, very safe. And then, last but certainly not least, and this is something that I'm excited to announce. It hasn't been officially announced by Ape Swap yet, so you guys are getting a little bit of a sneak peek. But we do what we have our initial coin offerings, typically called ICOs at Ape Swap. Oh, sorry, there's a helicopter flying overhead.
Of course.
Classic. I'm on the West Coast right now, and it's hard to get away from those helicopters.
Yep.
But so we have the initial coin offerings, and at Ape Swap, of course, we do need to keep the ape theme going, so we refer to them as initial ape offerings, IAOs. And the next one is actually coming up on September 7th. So in just over a week now, or exactly a week from today, actually. So super, super excited about it. It's a project called Chirply. They are a marketing project. I won't spend too much time going into them. But yeah, definitely keep an eye out on our social channels if you're interested in getting involved. They're going to be raising around $400,000 on our platform. And you can get involved using either BNB or our native governance token, GNANA. If you are listening and you are interested in getting involved in the sale, I would highly recommend doing the GNANA route, because you can usually get a much larger bang for your buck, because the BNB investors will typically, there'll be tens of millions of dollars lined up to purchase in the BNB side of things, whereas in the GNANA side of things, you usually have a much smaller competition pool. So yeah, that's my little pro tip for those that are here and getting the sneak peek.
Awesome. That sounds fun.
Yeah, so we have, and then of course, just a couple more little highlights. We're available on BNB Chain, Ethereum, and Polygon, and then we do highlight a couple of our major partners that we've been working with for a long time. Like I mentioned, Gauntlet, they're the ones who are help us with the capital efficiency. We work with Chainlink. They help us secure our lending network, as well as help control our price oracles on the DEX. Like I said, MoonPay, of course, for the fiat on-ramp. Animoca Brands, for those that are unaware, Animoca Brands is one of the largest gaming studios in crypto, and they also invest in dozens and dozens of gaming studios as well. And they have been a close partner of ours for quite a long time. And actually, any project of theirs that's launching on BNB chain, they prefer to use Ape Swap as their launchpad. So they prefer our initial Ape offering platform for Animoca Brands backed projects. Brave, of course, we highly recommend using Brave. If you don't, of course, I'm on Google Chrome myself, but Brave, we're partnered with and big fans of. And I don't need to go through everybody, but yeah, so a couple of our partners here.
Nice.
But yeah, so should we get into the nitty gritty of the jungle itself?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. So here is, sorry, just one sec. Oops, I pressed the wrong button. I stopped sharing.
Uh-oh.
I'm a bit of a noob on these things.
That's totally okay.
Okay, perfect. Here we go. So here's Ape Swap itself. This is the actual homepage. Let me do the daytime version, just because it's easier to see, I think, when you share it. So here's Ape Swap. So what we just were on was the welcome page, a little bit more user friendly, gives you some basic information about the website itself, and then here is the actual platform. So like I said, we like to refer to ourselves as a DeFi hub, and that's because we offer quite a bit more than your standard DEX does. And so like the welcome page says, a little bit under $100 million in TVL. Here's the total trade volume, the market cap, the partners, so on. If you actually go through our website, what you'll see is it's quite a bit different than other DEXs. What we like to do is display our announcements and page. So you'll see we have a number of our different partners' tokens are scrolling on this primary tokens wheel. We also have all of the different announcements for different things that are going on throughout the website and throughout the DAO. We also like to, of course, show some of our highest performing pools and farms. So right now you can see our partner that is offering the BAPE token. They have both a farm and a pool that are performing quite well, so they're being featured here. Like I mentioned, we have the lending network, and then what we haven't talked about yet, but I'm very excited to, is the treasury bills, because this is what we really do believe is the future of our DAO, and what we really do believe is the future of actual DEXonomics in general. But bit of a larger conversation, so I'll finish going through the website first.
All right.
And then, here we like to display our values. So this is who we are. This is at the core of everything that we do. So we care first and foremost about accessibility. So our goal is to create tools to leverage, or for users to leverage DeFi opportunities, regardless of where they are, their background, their wealth, their experience, etc. We want to be as transparent as possible. Some people do call us out, like I said, because I did mention earlier, we are an anonymous team. So some people say, how can you be transparent when your team is fully anonymous? Well, the way that we do it is we operate completely and entirely on the blockchain. Everything that ApeSwap does is done on chain. Everything from every single payout that we've ever done, whether it's server costs or HR costs or anything, is all done on chain. Everything can be tracked, and there are definitely watchdogs that do track it. And so we have passed with flying colors from multiple different watchdogs in that we are a very, very transparent DEX without having to actually reveal our identities in the first place. And that's honestly one of the primary reasons why we do remain anonymous. It's almost like we're proving a point, if you will. The blockchain kind of speaks for us. The whole idea here is, you have to know who your banker is because you can't see what your banker is doing on his computer. So
Yeah.
you want to be able to trust your banker so that if she does something, so if anything happens, they have your best interest at heart. With Ape Swap, you don't have to know us because you can see everything that we do. Everything on our computers is accessible to you on BSC scan or Polygon scan or ETH scan, whatever you're looking at. So, transparency, we're super, we're all about it. And then, of course, security as well. Security is a top priority at Ape Swap. Like I mentioned earlier with the lending network, that got delayed for months and months and months because we were just obsessed with making sure it's as secure as possible. And so, at the moment, we have 3 official auditing partners that will audit every piece of code that we write to make sure that we've looked at this from every different angle. Beyond that, we do offer up to $250,000 in bug bounty rewards for white hat hackers that come to us and they find different potential issues with our code. And then we fix those right away and obviously have the payout system for it. So we're absolutely obsessed with security. And then last but certainly not least, you hear something that we're super excited about as well is the fact that we do have a launch calendar here. So we try and show users kind of what's up and coming. So for example, tomorrow on the 1st, we have another round of treasury bills being launched. On the 3rd, we have the Stater Labs Jungle Farm top up, so on and so forth. And it kind of scrolls through for the different announcements. What you can see is there will be right here, it will say September 7th, the initial Ape offering, but we haven't announced it officially yet because you guys were the first to hear.
That is fun.
Yeah, so there will be a card right here, September 7th, initial Ape offering for Chirply. So I hope to see some of the community out there. But to continue just real quick, we do have the swap that I talked about. This is just simply the exchange page, where you can swap between, as you can see, hundreds and hundreds of tokens.
Yeah.
And so these are official partner tokens. And what is exciting here is if you go to some of our competitors, such as PancakeSwap, for example, what you'll notice is that their token list is much smaller. And the reason being is it's not because they don't have access to those tokens. They absolutely do. And you can trade them there. But, and I don't know why they do this, but for some reason, they just don't really offer like what we call, they don't really offer what we call quote unquote official token listings. And that's where, you would be able to add your logo, add the name of your token, add the ticker, and so on and so forth. Just make it a lot easier for your users to find it. So yeah, that's what we do. Here, of course, like I mentioned, we do have the fiat on-ramp. It's this credit card button up here. So that pops up this little modal. And then you can see here, you can use a multitude of different currencies in order to purchase, whether either BNB or a bunch of different blue chip tokens. There will be an option to buy banana at one point using fiat, but it's just not fully integrated yet. And then once we get the banana integrated, which is our token, then we're going to look to get partner tokens integrated as well, so that users will be able to actually just straight up purchase any token on our DEX using fiat, which would be super exciting.
Yes.
We also do have, I'm not sure if the community of yours is multilingual or if there's different branches or not, but we do have a bunch of different options here, and we're always looking to add more as well. So we surveyed our user base, and these are these were the most requested languages. So we do have the website available, in English, Spanish, and so on. And then there will be more added in the future. So we just want to make it a little bit more accessible to people, of course. Real quickly, here's the different staking options. We have pools. This is where we talked about where you stake native tokens to earn partner tokens. You can see the various APRs. I like to filter it by APR so you can see what the highest are. Right now, our highest is 170% for the BAPE token. Not too shabby. Of course, farms. This is where you're going to be able to stake LPs in order to earn banana. You can do the same thing, stake or filter by the APY, 185%, not too shabby. And then we have jungle farms. So jungle farms, this is something that we're the only DEX that offers these. This is essentially a way for a project to incentivize their own liquidity without having to use banana as sort of the quote unquote middle token. So you can see here, this is the most successful one we have at the moment. This is our partner Stater Labs. What they're doing is they're incentivizing the BNBX BNB liquidity pair by giving away their SD token. So you can see that it's very successful. There's over $2 million worth of liquidity staked into this jungle farm, and it's performing very well. It does say that it ends in about 6 hours, but they actually just sent a token top up, so it's going to be extended for another 2 weeks. So if this is something that you guys want to get into, I would definitely recommend checking out Stater. Oh, here's the initial Ape Offerings. So the next one hasn't been officially announced yet, so you can see it's still on the old page. But this is where the initial Ape Offerings happen. Or the one that we did before was animal concerts. So you can see here that we fully sold out, and we raised $1 million for animal concerts. And so, like I mentioned, there's two different options. There's BNB and GNANA. The way that we do it is via an oversubscription model. And so you can see that the BNB side of things was oversubscribed by 1,800%, whereas the GNANA side was only oversubscribed by 257%. So the way that it works is you put in as much money as you would like, and then you receive in proportion to the amount that everybody else put in. So the more oversubscribed it is, the less bang per buck you get. And then the money that isn't spent in your initial investment is returned to you. So if you want to get a larger allocation from the money you're putting in, you can see it's a much, much smaller pool that you're kind of competing with in the GNANA side. And that's because there's obviously way more holders of BNB than there's going to be of our governance token.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So this is, kind of the alpha there is, if you're really excited about an initial Ape offering, the GNANA side is definitely the way to go. And if you look at some of the ones that we've done in the past, here's Trust NFT, similar story, 430% versus 330. I think we've had some that were just absolutely wild where it was, this one's crazy. So this is one of those Animoca backed projects that I mentioned. You can see on this side, it was 34,000% oversubscribed versus 2,000% oversubscribed.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Pretty massive, exactly. So if you invested in the BNB side of things, there were some users that put in, $1,000 and they only received maybe like $10 to $15 worth of tokens because they were competing with so many other people, where that same $1,000 would give you a much, much higher allocation here. Of course, like I said, the unspent money in that 1,000 would be returned to you. Nobody keeps that. But obviously, if you're investing in a new project, you're trying to acquire those tokens. So,
right. Okay. This is neat.
Yeah, it's it's a clever little way that we like to support our ecosystem through our Launchpad, because what we do is, and this is another little piece of alpha for you guys that are listening here, because this isn't something we've announced to our community yet, but once they realize it, I think they're going to be incredibly excited. So the reason why we do two different offerings between GNANA and BNB is because all of the BNB that gets raised goes to the project who's doing the sale. We don't take a success fee of any kind. They get to take all of this money. So all 250 grand goes to 99 stars in this case. But the GNANA side, we take those golden bananas and we send them to the burn address. They get burnt and they're gone forever. And so the reason why we do this is because it is an incredible way for us to keep a our max supply on banana much lower, or not max supply, but our circulating supply much lower. And at this point, well, actually, I can check because we do have a protocol health dashboard that will show us. At this point, I believe we've burned around here. Oh, right here. We've burnt 18.3% of our total supply so far. So if you look at the actual burn, this is our burn chart,
Yeah.
over the past 180 days. So you can see from March 5th, which is the furthest this chart goes back, March 4th, rather, we were at 22, almost 23 million burnt. And in the past 180 days, we're up to 33 million. So we are consistently burning banana. But what's incredibly exciting about this current initial Ape offering that we're going to be doing, the Chirply one, is that because I said, we're going to be raising 400,000, and that means that 200,000 will be in BNB that goes to Chirply, which they will use for development and so on and so forth. And then the other 200,000 will be in Gnana, which will get burnt. And if we look at the current price of banana, that 200,000 is going to burn approximately about 2.5 to 3% of the current circulating supply. So that means, if you're not currently a banana holder, and this is of course not financial advice, but there is about to be the largest burn of banana that has ever happened in the history of the protocol, all in one transaction. So super excited to see that happen when it does. But yeah, it's going to be several million Gnana sent to the burn address all in one fell swoop, which should be pretty exciting. And the reason why that's so exciting is because if you look at what's happening at Ape Swap currently, we're actually currently going through a round of governance, which you guys know obviously well about.
Yeah.
Governance is very important when it comes to running a DAO. And what we're doing right now is we're having a very intense discussion about the future of the banana token itself. So when it began, it was an unlimited supply token that mints at 11 banana per block. So there's about one block every 3 seconds. And so, per day, I think it's about I can't remember the exact number. I think it's over 300,000 banana per day that are emitted. So currently, we can look at this protocol dashboard. It's really nice that this just got released yesterday. So this is very good timing. But we can look at the total supply right now. We're at 181 million. 18% of that has been burnt, which is 33 million. So you minus the 33 million, and that's the circulating supply right now. So what we're currently voting on via governance is what is the max cap of banana actually going to be. Like I said, currently it's unlimited, but we will be setting a max cap. And the lowest option that people are voting for is 280 million, which, as you can see, we would already be over halfway there. So if the 280 million max cap is the one that passes, that gives us about another 10 months of emissions at the current emission rate. So, if you are interested in a deflationary DEX token, there's a very good chance that banana becomes the very first one here pretty soon, because between the amount that we're burning and then the max cap, between the two, well, I mean, the writing's kind of on the wall.
Yeah.
So it's pretty exciting times. Banana, like a lot of tokens, has suffered from the bear market, of course, and also from the inflationary mechanics of the farms. However, with this max cap and with the burns that we're putting in place, we're really, hoping to turn things around here. And obviously, we're in a bit of a bearish market. Some people are bullish still, but I guess at this point, we're just trying to figure out what is the absolute best way for us to move forward as a protocol, and how can we make sure that banana holders are rewarded, for sticking with us. So pretty excited to see the future.
Yeah, this is all fantastic and very exciting. And now I just want to go play and not do any work for the rest of the day. This is always how it goes. So you're based on BSC. So tell me what's so appealing about BSC, because I'm still, again, quite new. Started off on Wax, have a little bit on ETH, but not much, and not really super knowledgeable about the other chains.
Gotcha. So yeah, absolutely. So what I love about BSC is two things. It's one, it's the scalability of the network. I think that what Binance has created and the amount of sort of funding and marketing and infrastructure and everything that's behind this network, I really do think that it's got what it takes to be in it for the long haul. So I'm bullish on the longevity of it. The BNB token in and of itself, so the network token, it has, and I have not done extensive research like some of my colleagues have, but from what I've been told by my colleagues, so this is me telling myself to do my own research, but what I've been informed of is that the tokenomics behind BNB are far superior to those of other main net tokens. And so, if you look at BNB, it's on a very deflationary path already, which is very, very exciting. I don't know when it will be, but I'm pretty confident that that BNB is going to flip, several of the major networks. I don't know when it will happen, like I said, but I'm very, very confident in that happening. And then it's a very secure network. Obviously, it has been rife with scams and rug pulls and all sorts of things, and that's a testament to it being accessible and fairly cheap to use as far as the gas prices are concerned. Not as cheap as Wax, menu, but it's maybe a few pennies per transaction, maybe up to like 10 to 15 cents at the most. Unless you're minting a crazy NFT, it might be $1, but I've never seen it more than $1 on BSC. So it's fairly cheap, it's scalable, it's fairly secure. The reason why these rug pulls and things have happened is because when BSC was first launched, it was kind of the Wild West. It was very easy to build on top of. And there was so much money pouring in that people were just building whatever project they wanted, and nobody was doing due diligence, and everybody was just aping into everything. And that's actually why Ape Swap was first created, was as a reaction. Our 5 co-founders actually were all involved in getting rug pulled by a project, and they all lost a significant amount of money together. And so they were pretty upset, and they figured they purchased those tokens on one of our competitors' dexes, obviously. And so they got upset and they said, well, why on earth would that dex promote that project? And then that project was able to rug pull, and then there's no repercussions. They didn't help us out. Like, they just essentially, like, maybe they were involved. I don't even know. Obviously they weren't involved, but like, it's just a bad news. And so they figured, let's create a dex where we make sure that anybody we promote, we've done full due diligence on. And so, that's sort of where that security bit comes into play. Man, I just went on such a rant. I can't remember what the original point was.
That's okay. This is all information that I didn't know. It was why BSC?
Oh, right. Thank
Yeah.
you. So yes, with that said, at this point in time, because the network did grow, and there was such a major focus on it, I think with the slowing down of the market, that what that's going to do is that's going to dissuade a lot of these shadier characters from getting involved, and it's also, because of the growth, what it has done, it's attracted a ton of very high quality security firms. So, like I said, at Ape Swap, we work with 3 different auditors ourselves, but there are dozens of auditing firms at this point that are very accessible, very affordable to projects. And at this point, there are definitely watchdogs and guardians in place on the network that are working, 24/7 to try and keep it as safe as possible. And at Ape Swap, we do our absolute best to work with as many of those types of watchdogs and security firms as we can. So I don't know if I've answered the question or not, but yeah, I'm definitely bullish on BSC as a network. Primarily for those reasons. I think it's secure, I think it's accessible, and I think it's very, very scalable as well. I think where people get nervous about it is the fact that it is so heavily backed by Binance itself. And I think some people get scared of the centralization factor. Obviously Ethereum is a fully decentralized network, And some people are a little bit nervous that CZ can influence the direction of Binance Smart Chain. That's a whole debate in and of itself, but that's definitely one of the concerns in the community.
Okay. Well, that's certainly more information than I knew 5 minutes ago, so thank you for that. Um, do you have any sort of, assuming that we are working in a bit of a bear market, do you have any survival tips for anybody? Anything that's kind of a, if it were my bear market, here's a thing I would do to that wouldn't lose me money?
Oh man, I don't know if I'm the best person for these tips because I myself am a bit of a degen, if you will.
Yeah.
Definitely see the bear market as an opportunity in the same way that I think the bull market, offers up opportunities. And in fact,
Mm-hmm.
this is a great time for me to shill one of Ape Swap's newest products. So at Ape Swap, we actually just released, you can see here it says new, this pro
Yeah.
trading platform. So here, real quick, I'm just going to swap over to the pro trading platform. Just going to make sure I'm not logged into it because I don't want anyone to copy my trades and lose money.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Okay, perfect. I'm not logged in, so let me share my screen here. But yeah, so we have a brand new pro trading platform that I'm super hyped about. This is definitely not, as you can see, it's a little bit more advanced. It's not typically for the the beginner user, but what
Mm-hmm.
this allows you to do is to trade on ApeSwap or to trade futures on ApeSwap. So you can see, like right now, I'm looking at the Bitcoin market. You can
Yeah.
see the chart. This is on the 15-minute timer. Like I said, I am quite a degen. I like to take a look at the 1 minute,
Yep.
which is a little bit absurd sometimes. But and then what this allows you to do is to trade with up to 200x leverage. I don't do the 200x leverage. I think that's a bit absurd, but there are definitely traders who do and make sometimes boatloads. Sometimes they lose it all in about 2 seconds. But yeah, so what you can see is, this allows you to trade with leverage and essentially, use capital that you don't actually have access to. And so my only tip here is if you're going to get involved, I would do your best to find a reputable, like mentor of some kind, somebody who knows what they're doing when it comes to actually looking at these charts, because a lot of people will tell you that, it's gambling essentially, and there is part of it that is. I mean, if we're being super honest with ourselves, like if you look at the buy candle down there, or the
Mm-hmm.
right here, this volume candle, that
Yep.
came out of nowhere. So of course it is hard to predict that buy candle is coming. But if you do find a trader that really does have a good grasp of things, typically they're going to be able to give you pretty decent advice. But with that said, my advice would be, if you're going to use a platform like this, there are two things that are extremely important. One, always, and if you don't know what this means yet, for anybody listening, feel free to just write it down so you can research it later. But always update your stop losses. Always update your stop losses, because if you don't, you might just have all of your profits wiped out in a single second because of the market swings the opposite direction. And then two is always take profit at reasonable moments. Everybody wants to see their trade go up 5,000%, and it makes your heart race a million miles an hour, and it's super exciting. But let's be honest, if you can make 20% every single day, you'll be one of the richest people in the world within a year. So 20% gains is very admirable. Don't be someone that is just obsessed with those 200-300x's. It's of course it's exciting, but especially when you're first getting your feet wet. I went to the casino this weekend, actual gambling with a friend of mine, and
Mm-hmm.
he put down $20 on the roulette table. Once he was up to 27, he pulled out, and I just went, man, have you ever thought about doing futures trading? Because you have some serious conviction, and I think you could make a killing. Because that's, I think, what it really takes is conviction. In that, once you have made a little bit of profit, feel free to just take it out, celebrate. There's always going to be another trade. So I guess probably not the greatest survival tips per se, but if you want a little bit of a degen tip, that's my take on it. As
I
far
like that.
as far as survival tips are concerned, oops, did not mean to zoom into the chart. Let's go back to the regular Ape Swap platform. Oops, I just reloaded the pro platform. We obviously have much safer and sounder investments that can be made on Ape Swap. For example, this is our treasury bill program. So treasury bills, this is what I'm most excited about of anything that we have going on at Ape Swap. It's taken up a large majority of my time in the past couple of months because it's definitely the direction that we're moving as a project. So treasury bills, this is a way where our partners and as well as our own decks can actually go from these more traditional liquidity mining models and actually go to own liquidity. So it's a little bit of a complex topic. But if we just take a step back and we look at the pools and the farms. So typically what a project will do in order to open up a pool and a farm is they will send over to ApeSwap some initial reward tokens for that pool. So let's look at one, for example. Dap Radar is a project that we've been working with. They actually bridged over from Ethereum to Binance Smart Chain specifically to work with ApeSwap. So I like to highlight them a little bit. So, if we look at Dap Radar, this is a pool where users can stake GNANA to earn Radar at an 86% APR. And this pool is going to be open for the next 124 days. So quite a while left. You can see $125,000 of GNANA is staked, so on and so forth. So there's that option there. And in return, what we do is we go over here and we open up a banana farm. So we look at this. We can see users are staking Radar BNB LPs in order to earn banana. What they can do with that banana is easily turn that into GNANA, stake it into the pool to earn more Radar, creates a very circular system. And you can see here, there's $83,000 of that liquidity staked in order to earn 122% APR. And this farm doesn't have an end date on it. And that's because we like to keep our farms open for as long as possible to make sure that, the liquidity sticks around and doesn't go away. So this is the traditional model. This is what we call liquidity renting. And you can see that it's renting because as soon as ApeSwap stops paying banana, people are going to remove liquidity. And as soon as Radar stops paying Radar tokens, people are going to remove those GNANA tokens. So, essentially, as soon as you stop paying rent, it's going to go away. And so what we're trying to do at ApeSwap is figure out a way to help a project go from renting liquidity to actually owning liquidity. So that's where treasury bills come in. So treasury bills at a high level are essentially a way where a project can sell their tokens to users in exchange for LP tokens at a slight discount. And then those tokens get wrapped up inside one of these treasury bill NFTs and vested over a period of time. So it's a little bit complex, especially when you just are listening to me. But if we look at the Radar, for example, so Dap Radar did a sale, and it says NA right now because it is sold out. But what they did was users were able to take these Radar BNB LP tokens, trade them for Radar tokens at a discount, and then those tokens that they were purchasing got wrapped up in an NFT for 14 days, and they're linearly vested over that time. So if you look at these, this is usually the treasury bills, they don't cycle through designs, but this just shows the various options, or because they do get randomized. But if I zoom in here, you can see the different details that it does show. So in our example bill here, we have, this would be a banana bill. It's being vested for 14 days. The total amount of bananas within the bill in our example is, of course, a meme for 20.69. And the fully vesting date is the 27th of April, 2022. And then the other thing that it shows is the LP pair that was used to purchase the bill in and of itself. So the reason why we have two different types of bills, we have treasury bills and jungle bills. So treasury bills essentially are ways for ApeSwap to own our own protocol owned liquidity. So you'll see here, that's where That's the different banana options. So you can see users can trade banana BNB for discounted banana, or maybe BUSD BNB for discounted banana, or BUSD USDC, and so on and so forth. We have multiple sales going because our goal at Ape Swap is to actually own as much of these LP pairs as we can. And so at the moment, we've had this project or this product going for about 3.5, maybe 4 months now with the treasury bills. And we've accumulated in these blue chip pairs at this point, I think it's $1.1 million in protocol owned liquidity. And so that's, a way that we're going to be able to actually start, over the long haul, start to incentivize these specific farms with less banana because we actually already own the liquidity, meaning we don't need to rent it anymore. So over the long haul, it's going to be a lot more sustainable for banana because we're going to be able to give out way fewer rewards. And if you look at what it does for our partners, it does something very, very similar. So all the ones that say NA, those are because they've sold out. The Floki Inu bill is still available. So if you are a Floki fan and you want to get some discounted Floki tokens, you can do that right now on ApeSwap by trading your Floki BNB for single asset Floki at a 7.94% discount. And then those would get wrapped, placed inside of your Floki Treasury Bill NFT for 30 days. So it's kind of complex, but also kind of straightforward at the same time. Just takes a little bit of explaining. But what's really, really exciting is the average return that we're seeing for our partners is about 87%, which is pretty incredible if you compare that to the renting model. Because in the renting model, if you really think about it, the return that a project gets is 0%. Because once they stop spending, the LPs go away, and they don't get to keep them. So here 87% return versus 0%. So we're very, very excited about this product, and we're pushing it forward pretty heavily. It's definitely going to be the primary focus of Ape Swap in the near future here.
That's a ton of fun, and I like it. And that's an interesting idea too. So that's something I'm going to keep in the back of my mind here.
Absolutely. I mean, even for of course, we can have a larger conversation, maybe offline or not in the view of the public, but about when you guys yourselves expand the token over to BNB chain, maybe there's a bill sale in the future. Who knows? Could be pretty exciting stuff.
That's kind of where I was thinking of heading with that too. Just the curiosity of what could be done with that, because that's kind of exciting. And I mean, we have our Upliftium token, and that was the one we were hoping to use as a multi-chain token. So that's down the road a ways.
Of course.
Yeah, we do have some a miner sale for that coming up, starting on Friday, which is pretty exciting. I would highly recommend getting in on some of that because it's the first time in quite a long time that we've had new miners come out. So that's
amazing. I would love to hear a little bit more if
there's not a whole lot more to it. New miners will generate more Upliftium. You can blend it into bigger denominations now, and those bigger denominations can sit in your ledger and actually mine Upliftium as well. So they mine it, and that of course encourages people to just hang on to it instead of trading it for whatever and bailing on it. So it would be not quite like liquidity pools in terms of availability, but it would be locked as opposed to out there. So that's certainly good. And of course, we have all of the usual ways for burning it: picture installations, portals, experience worlds. There are a couple others too that I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but it's a ton of fun. So, and all of that is in the Uplift. So that would be another big difference. It's less out there and more in here. Yeah. But I'm excited about the miner sale because we just haven't had one in such a long time. And mining is the easy way of I like to think of it as the gateway to the metaverse ecosystem because you can grab some miners and mine Upliftium, but you don't necessarily have to be active in the metaverse to participate in that part of it. And then, of
Right.
course, if you want to trade them, trade the Upliftium, you can. And there are always people who are active in the metaverse who want more. And so that's always a good thing.
No, absolutely. In fact, that's something that I'll have to check out myself. Like I said, I've been so slammed between the Treasury bills product, and then also I think since the last time we spoke, I've gotten a bit of a directional change as far as what I do for the company at ApeSwap.
Mm-hmm.
I think last time we spoke, I was a what's called a business development manager, and in that role was primarily in charge of trying to build out business relationships and make sure that partners were comfortable and had access to the jungle and so on and so forth, and that's still a bit of what I do in my new role, but at this point, and I'm very excited about it because this is the most it's kind of funny, this is the most prestigious sounding title I've ever gotten, but I'm still an anonymous monkey on the internet, so it's nothing to write home about. But at this point, I'm what's called the director of growth at Ape Swap. And so my primary role at this point is still in the sort of B2B relationship side, but primarily focused on making strong connections with projects that are involved in some sort of um, like incubation process with other projects. So whether it's like incubators themselves, or whether it's launch pads, or whether it's venture capitalist firms, or whether it's advisory firms, so on and so forth. Just anybody who's involved in sort of helping get a project from 0 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to expand that network as much as we possibly can, because we really do believe that at ApeSwap, because of all of the products that I just showed and explained for the last, I guess, almost hour now, is we really do believe that we have a what we like to call an incredible landing zone. So every project needs a launch pad. We really think that every project also needs a landing zone, and so we've done our best to create that. And so now, as the director of growth, it's my job to make sure that as many launch pads and so on and so forth see that. So that we can really help projects hit the ground running and offer them some premier support, from day one.
I really like that. Um, and of course now I have my own ideas too. We have that spot for you over in Etheria with that giant billboard, and you can, if I were you, I'd go pick up some miners at the miner sale and work on getting some Upliftium and use it to update the billboard
Yeah,
because
I
that's one of the things you can do with it.
I completely agree. In fact, I'm looking at the the expense budget that we have for the business development team, and I'm thinking it might be worth spending some company funds here.
It would be fun, and I mean, we do have a fair few people in there, and there are the events that happen every once in a while. I know on Thursday we have the art walk, which is stopping over at the Meta Art Club, which is just across the other side of Spawn from you. So
Right,
there
right.
are
Be super cool.
definitely opportunities.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate the call out there. That's definitely something worth taking a look at.
Yeah, it could be a lot of fun, and I'm biased too. I want to see you more involved in the uplift because I think it's fun, but there is definitely opportunity there. So.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. That's one of the things that we've been trying to shift some, or there's been some shifts in focus in at the Ape Swap DAO a little bit in the recent months, and so there's been a bit of a shakeup between community management team, marketing team, business development team, and so on and so forth, and so uh, you know definitely there's been some hiccups slash bumps in the road that I didn't originally foresee. However, I think we're getting to a pretty strong place. So I'm right there with you. I would love to see Ape Swap get more involved with the piece of land that we have there. I think there's some really cool stuff that could be done. So if anybody from the Ape Swap community is listening to this and you weren't aware of the fact that we do have a plot of land, it is absolutely stunning. I've been on it myself. I think you guys gave us a phenomenal plot. And so if anybody is interested, wants to get involved, please do send me a DM. I think at this point, if we were able to get, hire on a couple builders or whatever it needs, I think that'd be really exciting. I'd love to see the plot turn into, the Ape Swap jungle, if you will. I'd love to see that visualized. I think it'd be really cool.
I think that would be really neat. And there are lots of opportunities too, like in terms of picture installations for featuring partner projects as well. So that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, that would be really fun. I would love that.
Yeah.
To be able to update that, and because we do, like I said, we have that launch calendar, and you can see there's new stuff coming all the time. I think it'd be really fun to be able to, have some updatable, advertisements there. It'd be pretty cool.
Definitely. And that is something that we are fully able to do. So that would be a lot of fun.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have time for it, because maybe it's too large of a discussion, and if we don't have time for it, maybe we just have to schedule another call. But I would love to hear a little bit, and you'll have to forgive me that I haven't been able to keep up with it, myself. But I would love. Obviously, there's been a major shakeup in the way that Minecraft's parent company is handling metaverse and NFT and so on and so forth.
Oh,
and
yeah, that would have happened.
Yeah. Like maybe the worst possible shakeup that they could have done. And so, and your community probably already knows, so you probably don't need to go too into detail. But I would love to know, like, what is sort of the response? What is the what's the move?
In a nutshell, Mojang said that they don't support blockchain integration to the point of it being bannable and will shut you down in the whole 9 yards. We don't have actual blockchain integration, so we're fine. We have no issues there. Upliftium is used as an in-game token, and for the purposes of where it's connected to the Minecraft, it's all in-game. Anything that happens outside of its uses in-game, it's a completely different thing, and it is not at all integrated with the actual Uplift metaverse. So the mining side of things and the NFT side of things are separate. It works really nicely together. I can earn my Upliftium, and then I can choose to make it into an NFT, but the choose to make it into an NFT part happens on our website. It does not happen in the Uplift. So it's not the same. And that's an important distinction. Any of the Upliftium things that happen in the Uplift are not on chain and never have been. So it's pretty foolproof that way. But you can take it on chain. You can take your Upliftium that shows in your ledger and make it into an NFT. And then you, of course, the market is what it is and you can do all the things with it.
Right.
But having that separation was something that we set up initially to avoid having problems with something like this in the future. We're certainly not going out of our way to shout, hey, look at us, we're doing it right. We don't really want the extra attention at this point, but we've been doing it right all along. So that's certainly nice.
Okay.
Yeah, and the DAO jumped all over it and said, hey, we've been looking at investigating, developing on other game platforms anyway. This is a great time to start that. So they've been working on putting together something in a platform called Mindtest. In terms of play, it looks and feels pretty similar. A few different settings and, a couple things to get used to. To start with, the closed test world that we have up is pretty basic. What I can tell you from the couple of times that I've been in is that the mobs are wildly different. Everything will kill you. It's a level of difficulty in that sense that's a little bit up from what we're used to, but that's probably a good thing. People keep asking for maximum difficulty, so I think they're about to discover what that really looks like. So that's a fun game changer. And of course, the creative worlds will still exist in a creative sense, so there won't be hostile mobs coming after you all the time to blow up your stuff or murder you in your sleep. That's kind of nice to know. But yeah, so they're working on integrating all of the things that we have now so that it looks and plays in a familiar way. Couple of benefits are that we can use blockchain integration. We can integrate all the things, which opens up a world of DeFi possibilities in the actual metaverse. So that's exciting, really exciting. Second thing is that it opens up a world of NFT ownership of things. So maybe I want some invisible armor. Maybe I want a pet. Maybe I want to mine and actually mine an Upliftium NFT that shows up in my wallet. So all of these things are now possible. And of course, that opens the door for, can I mine some partner currencies? I don't know. Let's find out. So that's kind of that direction. And of course, all of these things will be added in one at a time, and the DAO has to vote on it. And it's all very exciting. But it does take a bit of time. I mean, the fact that we were able to whip up a test world in, a month is, I think, fairly impressive. So
100% agree. I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously you guys were the first people I thought of when I saw, the news. I mean, of course, there's other projects that were obviously impacted very heavily, and I saw that, trending on Twitter. And so I got fairly nervous, but it sounds like your heads were in the right place all along.
And I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be absolutely wonderful once it's up and running. And we decided early on a couple of things. The Minecraft worlds are not going anywhere. They are up, they are running, they are populated, people are building things, and we're going to keep them that way. We're not violating anybody's anything, so we're just going to hang out and have a multi-platform metaverse. And multifunctional too. The NFTs that give you access to build and own land on the Minecraft worlds are also going to give you access to build and own land on the mine test worlds, the new ones. We're still working on importing builds, and that's kind of, if we can, we will, but it's a little bit less certain because the functionality of the different types of blocks and stuff in the gameplay is a little bit different. So it's a possibility, but that part might take a little bit longer to get right. But it's a possibility, and that NFT that you have that gives you access to land in the Minecraft world, it'll give you access to the land in the mine test world. We're still, putting that together, but it's the theory behind it works. It works on all the platforms, and that's something that we've been trying to get out there as well, is that, what you have will work on all the things. We just have to, write that code. And by we, I mean the devs, not me. So that's got to get out there too. They've been doing an incredible job with just putting it all together. Mine test is written in the Lua language, which I don't think any of us were super familiar with. So that's been interesting. And but it also has enough similarities that it is eventually down the line, possibly, portable into Unreal Engine 5. So that's also something the DAO voted to explore. So the ultimate goal is, our initial goal is to keep moving forward rapidly and properly. And the ultimate goal is make it look really freaking pretty and get everybody in there for the ultimate metaverse experience. So that's kind of where we're heading. But and all of that works with Upliftium being the in-game currency that you can use for the pictures and portal installations. And anytime we charge Upliftium for things, services like pictures and portals or an experience world or whatever, it gets burned. So that's nice and easy. Anytime you put up a new billboard, you're supporting the deflationary mechanics of the Upliftium economy. So yeah, it's all 100% awesome. And
I'm excited.
Yeah, and the miner sale will have a link on the landing page of our website. So that's theuplift.world. So it'll be super easy to get to, like everything we've put together in the past. Just show up at the website 2:00 Eastern on Friday, and there will be a button to click on, and it'll take you to the sale page and go from there.
Amazing. Yeah. I am so glad I asked, because I mean, every conversation I've had with you or your team has made me more bullish, and this one just, I mean, tops it off. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's very, very exciting. I love to see, obviously, like what's most important, I think, in this industry is being, we call it at ApeSwap, we call it having a foxy mindset. I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people would also refer to that as, being able to roll with the punches, being able to adapt. And it sounds like you guys, you anticipated this punch before it ever was even swung in the first place. So, yeah, very, very exciting stuff.
Yeah, it definitely is. And one last word on the miner sale before we part ways here. The prices go up. So as the number of packs sold increases, the price of wax for a pack goes up. And
Uh,
the details on that have been all over our Twitter. I could say it out loud here, but nobody's going to remember the 4 or 5 different tiers. So check out the Twitter because it's all over there. And just know that if you show up at 2 o'clock on Monday, or no, Friday, 2 o'clock on Friday Eastern, you will get the best deal. If you show up later than that, it gets progressively more expensive.
all right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good to know. I appreciate. Yeah, I feel like there was some good alpha shared on both sides here. Some
I
good.
I completely agree. This is exciting and fun.
100% agree. I regret that it took me as long as it did to get on the show, but I'm happy that we made it happen. And um,
Yeah,
yeah, I think it sounds like there's enough updates and enough building happening on both sides that there's probably reason for another one in I don't know when, whether that's in a month or a month and a half, whatever. But it
definitely.
sounds like there's enough exciting stuff happening that I'd love to keep abreast of what's happening there, and I'd love to continue to update what's happening here.
I think that sounds wonderful. I would enjoy that.
Amazing, amazing.
Ah, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me. This has been a ton of fun,
I
and
agree.
I've learned enough for, at least a couple days here, so that's also good. And yeah, we'll do this again.
Amazing. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so
Me
much for
too.
having me, and yeah, we'll chat soon.
That sounds good. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next time.
Alrighty, bye bye.